My name is Gabriela Bustos and I'm originally from Mexico City.
My name is Patricia Ordantes and I am originally from El Salvador.
My name is Ixchel Suarez and I come from Mexico.
I was born in Barranquilla, Colombia.
I am originally from Colombia.
I come from Mexico City.
I am from Bogotá, Colombia.
I am from Lima, Peru.
I came from Colombia.
My name is Gabriela Bustos and I'm originally from Mexico City. The first time I came to Canada, I came just to study English and then fell in love with the culture, stayed for six more months, so I stayed for a year. And while I was in the library, I met a very cute boy that was now my husband. So I went back to Mexico City, and over there I realized that I really miss the culture in Canada and how people are friendly and recycle and how you get to know a lot of different cultures without being out of a city. Since I started living in Toronto there's a multicultural city, so you get to know people from all over the places around the world, and that was one of the things that I really make me fall in love in Canada. And the fall colors, of course, that is something that we do not have in Mexico. No matter how much I miss my country, I think it makes me very, very proud of trying to contribute a little bit in this community now about my culture and about Mexico City, and it makes me really happy to be just a little arm that reaches out for all the beautiful things that we have in Mexico, showing it to all the people around the world, from our music to our food to the values, the family values that we have, and being able to reproduce them here in this country makes me really proud.
My name is Alberto Pareja. I was born in Barranquilla, Colombia, and I came to Canada in 1990 with my whole family, my wife and 3 kids. The 3 kids were all obviously born in Colombia. One of them was only 4 months when we came, so we delayed the coming until she had the baby. The oops. You know, when you come to a country, you don't know all of the cultures and all what's going on, even though I've visited Canada before and I lived in the States. But I remember my first culture shock was we got here on February 25th, 1990. It was the worst storm in Mississauga. There was 3 or 4 feet of snow. We got to my brother-in-law's home because he came in June. And my first culture shock, he said, "Would you want a beer?" Because it was my wife's birthday. And I said, "Yeah." I stood up to get it from the fridge, and she said, no, he got it from the backyard. I said, wow, okay, that's how cold it was. So that was my first culture shock.
My name is Fabian Arcinigas. I am originally from Colombia, from a city called Cali. When I came here, that was my first experience where nobody spoke my language. Made me admire the way the people of Canada reflects about their past, and they're willing to try to change things that didn't work before or that were not correct or appropriate. I feel that sometimes for us Latin Americans, I'm thinking about my own country, it's been hard to get to that point of reflection.
My name is Patricia Ordantes and I am originally from El Salvador. My experiences from moving into Canada is like there are quite many. There are so many different things like the culture, the weather, the food, the language. Everything is like a barrier when you come here, not having a job, try to belong to the community that doesn't know you, trying to find friends. I think those are like the challenges that you have when you move to another country. And now it's Canada. But there are good things too. I mean, like I can feel free here. Like I come from a country that has a lot of criminality. You don't know what's gonna happen to you on the street sometimes. And here I have the freedom and I feel safe, and that's priceless.
My name is Ixchel Suarez and I come from Mexico. When I arrived in Canada, I wanted to get involved in the arts, to get to know artists and see where do I fit. I studied in Europe, so I have a lot of connections connections from Europe as well. I think that here everything is very formal, and in Mexico has been more spontaneous. For example, I tell you, why don't we meet today and you can come to my place? And yeah, sure, no problem. At what time? You do a gathering anytime. Whereas here, the first thing I learned, when I started getting in touch with neighbors, the first time I mentioned this, he said like, but today? Like, you mean today? I said, yeah, what's the problem? No, but I would have to prepare. Or they would send you an invite to their houses, like Thursday 24th, which was 2 weeks from then, from 5 to 7. In Mexico, you would never tell when to leave. You just go to a gathering and then, you leave when it ends, right? But sometimes it would be like the day after. It's cultural again, but you have to learn and to adapt. And like I was saying, we as adults, we are already formed. And I came with my younger kids, which were in 2nd and 4th grade. So they got the full immersion from the beginning. So they would have that cultural experience in a different narrative than mine.
So my name is Maria del Monserrat Alvarado, Navarro, and I come from Mexico City. I always thought that Canada and the United States were very similar. But on my way to Canada, we traveled through the United States. Then we crossed the border on Windsor. And I remember a lot of people said, whatever you do, don't get out of your car, be careful, be safe, and whatever it is. And then when you cross the border to Canada, it's like, where's the issue? There's no issues, right? I think it's a little bit like crossing the border from Mexico to the United States. It's a very different world. So I never thought that Canada was this beautiful. And as I've lived here in Canada, I see more and more contrast against the United States and other parts of the world. And I think that this is a wonderful, wonderful country. I was very lucky.
My name is Maria Cecilia Velazquez Labreck, and I am from Bogota, Colombia. I am a Spanish teacher from back home. I teach currently Spanish here in one high school in Ontario. I teach teenagers, grades 9 to 12. I love being a Spanish teacher. I have lots of stories about coming to Canada. I met my husband, he's French-Canadian, through a cousin who was living here in Canada. We chatted for a few months and then he went down to Colombia. We met. Then after that he came back. We started dating. We fell in love and he proposed in less than a month and we got married. And I was finishing my university back home and I needed to wait a year before I was able to come. And then I came here and we've been together for 17 years now. I never thought that moving to Canada was going to change my life so much. And especially that I was going to move because of love.
My name is Betty Harris, and I am from Lima, Peru. Well, my life was wonderful. I can say great. I studied hard all my life. I graduated as a doctor in pharmacy in Lima, Peru. Then I moved to the States. I didn't know at all English. I knew French because I studied in a French private school in Lima. I just graduated in pharmacy and I came to the States and I want to work. So in New York, they have offices to get jobs for professional people. They get me a job at the Jewish Hospital in Brooklyn in medical research. And from there, I have to move to Canada. My husband is Canadian. I have to leave everything in New York, everything. And they asked me, I will pay you more, Betty. I will do anything. Please stay. So I just get married with a Canadian.
My name is Marta Sofia Reyes and I came from Colombia. For me to come to Canada was because I met my actual husband in Colombia, in Bogota, where I was living. It's funny because he came to visit his son who was working in Bogota. He came to see the city, to know people, and then his in-laws made an arrangement for me to meet my husband, and we started dating since 2002. Of course, I was afraid to come to Canada. I really didn't want to come to Canada because Canada was cold all the time. Everything what I heard from Canada is cold. It's covered in snow. You don't know how to walk in the snow. You don't know how to live in the snow. I thought that everything was white and cold. So I wanted to have the experience to come to Canada. And it was funny because I didn't have the experience to travel to Canada before. That was one of my biggest motivation to come to Canada.
I think this is gonna be a funny story. The first time I came to Canada and I was a student, this was my first winter at school. it was going to be Valentine's Day. So we went out to downtown to have something to drink and to have a night of fun. And at night, when everything was over, it was night at 12, and I decided to go back. I didn't know that in Toronto, there's the buses running a different time at night. So here I was waiting in the bus stop for the bus to come. 1 hour passed, 1 hour and a half passed, and the bus didn't come. I came to Canada with the winter clothes that I thought were okay from Mexico. So I was wearing high heels and just the warmest jacket I could have in Mexico. And at 1 a.m., the bus didn't come. I totally was just crunching myself in the little seat, and I was just painting myself next day being in the news that, oh, this young lady just froze to death. Finally, the bus arrived, and I warmed up a little bit because thank God that this country has the buses with the heat inside. So I think that's funny because you come from Mexico and you really don't know the weather that is here.
You know, the car business, you have the salesman, and then you have the business manager who handles all the paperwork and all that stuff. So I sold the car to this lady. I did the turnover that we call, and the gentleman did the credit application, and I went home, and he took a couple of days to get it approved, not knowing what was going on. So he says to me, oh, by the way, Mary, you got to go to Mississauga and pick her up. She doesn't have a car. Oh, I'll do it. I don't have a problem. Hey, I'll go pick her up. So he gave me the address. So I went to pick her up. This is the address? Yeah, it was a strip club. So I went in asking for her name, and the guy comes to me, so what's her stage name? What would I know? He was a stripper. So they sat me down. They made me pay the beer. I said, oh my God, I'm putting my credit card at beer at a strip club, and my wife sees that. She's not going to believe me what's going on. When I got to the office, now you can imagine the whole dealer, how much they were laughing about that.
I have so many. It's just that I cannot think in one specifically right now. I don't know if it is funny, but sometimes the stereotypes that people have with Latinos, and that all of us come from one country, which is Mexico, right? When we are not. So sometimes people will say to me like, oh, you don't like beans, or you don't like spicy food. And no, spicy food is not that common in Colombia as it is in other places. That has been funny. And
I can be the whole day here telling funny stories because, I like to document almost everything. I remember when we just first arrived, I was a child, and I remember my mom came with 3 little kids. We got our first little house. I remember it wasn't even snowing. It was the fall. The Thunder Bay must have been colder than here, and at that time, even colder than Toronto. And they were washing the linens and washing all the drapes, probably from the curtains of the new house, and they put everything to hang in lines in the garden. Of course, they froze. That was really funny to see because all the neighbors would be staring at like, what are they doing? What are they doing? And there was this almost like a Laurel and Hardy movie, my mom on one end and Juanita on the other end, pulling the frozen plaque of ice, and it couldn't fit the main door. So that was really funny, I think.
It all has to do with language, okay? So I worked at the Chamber of Commerce again. I was taking care of the tourism office. Some person came over and asked if there were beaches in Campbellford. But I didn't understand, and I still have a lot of issues trying to pronounce the letters or the sounds. And I said to my friend who was working with me, I said, do you know if there's any bitches in town? And she says, yeah, what age group? And I was like, I don't understand. And she said, you said bitches. And I said, yeah, where you go swimming? Oh, that. Yeah, we have got a few beaches in town.
Oh, something funny I can tell you from Montreal. I didn't decide, my husband decided. We are going to Ontario because the family lives around here. I said to him, well, what are we going to do? What I'm going to do? He said, well, you're a pharmacist, there is no problem. And I was working in a beautiful French hospital. So when I told them, they said, are you going to Ontario? Everything in French. No, you don't go to Ontario. Ontario is different. It's another life. Please don't go to Ontario. It's another life. It's not like it. I said, yeah, but I have to go. The answer was, so Madame Marie, if your husband is taking you, divorce. Divorce, Madame Marie. Me.
I've been having many funny moments in my life. When I came to Canada, I thought that I had enough English to be able to speak. Of course, I was very proud because I was supposed to be an English teacher in Colombia, but of course I was teaching to little ones, to kindergarten kids, so which is very short sentences. So when I came to Canada, I said, no, I am able to understand. When I came here, I went to a party, which I expected that it was a party full of music and dance. Like in Colombia, they say, oh, you're going to go to a party. And I was so, yes, party, finally, party. I came to the famous party and everybody was sitting and having a nice chat. Just very soft music, lots of beautiful food, lots of beautiful wine, lots of beautiful people, but no dance. So I was a little bit disappointed about that.
I'm really happy to be in a country where the woman is really high respect. And I'm not saying I don't have that in my country, but here they take it seriously, and the way we always are protected, it makes me feel safe. I love being outside. I love winter, and the fall color is my favorite season. I just wish everybody could see this side of the world and not being afraid of the cold.
I feel that Northumberland is starting to become, I'm not gonna say more interesting, although I'm gonna say more diverse, and that makes it more interesting. I'm very happy because I see that things are changing here, and I think diversity gives a little bit more richness to our whole town or our whole county. So I'm really happy because I think this place is growing for good, and we're starting to get the influx of diversity.
I'm looking forward to be able to go back to law or something similar. So I have plans for next year. I want to become a consultant in immigration and citizenship law. I applied this year for the University for Queens. I think I'm gonna be living here for life, probably when I retire, going back to El Salvador and visit family, or maybe do like the people who goes away on winter time and comes back on summer.
Oh my gosh, if I could bring my family to Canada, would be ideal, because I think this country is a blessing. So my mom is coming to visit me, hopefully with my brother and my sister, so that we can all be together before she departs when the Lord takes her. But I want to spend some time with her and my brother and my sister in this country. You know, I've been to Mexico, and Mexico is beautiful, and I love the country, the people, and all that kind of stuff. But Canada it's truly a blessed place because of the water, because of the people, because of the politics, because of everything. It's a really nice place. I know we take it for granted because we live here, but I know that people that do not have these privileges will appreciate it, and I want to bring them over here to see it.
Something that I am looking forward to, just continue having a good life here with my husband, my kids, trying to build strong relationships with people that I encounter on the way, trying to continue making fun memories. I just love this country and all the things that have happened to me since I arrived here. They have just enriched my life so much, and I just hope that I will be able to just transfer all this knowledge and all these experiences to my kids as well. If you ask me, would you do that again? I would say yes. I will do it again. Like I really am enjoying my life right now.
I have to be proud. I have to be proud because this is show that I work hard and all my achievements are here. And I'm very proud.
When I studied at Fleming College, my teacher used to say, okay, what are your short goals and your long-term goals? I had to start thinking, what are my short goals? Where do I see myself in 5 years, in 10 years? And I guess 10 years ago, when I started thinking, where am I going to be in 10 years? I guess I am where I wanted to be right now. I started teaching Spanish at Fleming College. It is one of my goals, and my goal is to be able to continue working with this kind of job. This job gives you a lot of happiness. It keeps you actual, keeps you joyful and full of energy, because youth gives you a lot of energy, and that's what I like.